Hello and welcome MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back in the pursuit of wealth for an MJ sector review. Today's a review for Monday, June 21st. Happy Monday and happy first day of summer. In today's video, hope you are all well. We're going to be discussing Body and Mind Inc. So they just came out with their Q3 2021 earnings. So we'll go over that quarterly report here in detail. And like we normally do, we'll go over some news and events on the day, and then we'll look at the BAMM chart in detail, and then we'll go over the US and the Canadian MJ space as well. But before we jump in, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. And also for your convenience, I'll put some timestamps in the description below. So did the video a little bit later today to try and capture this in the video, and it actually worked out perfectly. So Body and Mind just released this quarterly report and it's looking good. I'm extremely bullish. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited, bullish, bearish, if you've seen anything that stood out, if it's not mentioned in this video. But essentially, we'll just go over it really quickly here. So cash, 1.3 million, and total assets, 42 million, total liabilities, 9.4 million. So very good in comparison. Revenue came in at 4.273 million compared to 76,000 for the same quarter last year in 2020. So that's about a 55 times increase in net revenue. So that is huge. Congrats to the bulls. I know it's been a turbulent ride the last few weeks and months, and maybe you've been holding for years at this point, but it's starting to look good. 4.273. And if we just take a look at the net sales for 2020, it was 5.29 million for all of 2020. So the fact that we came in at 4.273 just for the quarter, just for the 3-month period ended 30th of April, that is huge. So I'll just bring up investing.com here real quick as well. We didn't have any earnings forecast because it is a lower penny stock and low cap name, so not a lot of analyst coverage on there. But just bringing up the quarterly report here from the period ended October 31st, 2020. If we scroll down here, cash was around the same, but look at the net sales. So 1.8 million for that quarter. And then if we look at the period, the last quarter that they just reported, January 31st, 2021, it was 2.747 million. So if we compare that quarter over quarter, that's about a 50%, little over 50% increase in sales for revenue for the quarter compared to last quarter. So that is a huge increase. And like I said, matching almost that of 2020's entire fiscal year. So that is a huge improvement. Taking a look at the earnings per share. So EPS, it came in flat at 0.00. And it's always hard to tell how we're going to react when we don't have any estimates and forecasts to go off of. But if we just go by previous quarters, it's looking really good. And we didn't come in with positive numbers there on the EPS, but better than negative. And going to be really interested to see how the stock opens up tomorrow. So there's some share count if you want to look into that a little bit more, but going to skip that for the purpose of this video. So net loss for the period was 2.177 million compared to 3.424 in 2020. Improved on the net loss front as well. Principles of consolidation, and they also talk about their jurisdictions and ownership. So in Nevada, they talk about California, Ohio. So they have 100%, 100%, 75%, 100%, 100%, 51%, 60%, 100% in Ohio. So there's all the dates of acquisitions or formations as well. So that is obviously playing a huge factor in the increased revenue from prior years. That's going to do it for the financial highlights. So I'm going to end it there. I encourage you to go read this on your own time, but just out of effort of keeping this video a bit shorter, we're going to move on. So taking a look at some other news and events on the day today. So we had another article from Seeking Alpha, tailwinds to boost Canadian MJ companies in the coming months. So store reopenings after lockdowns and the need to rebuild inventories are among the tailwinds that will be benefiting the Canadian MJ names in the coming months, according to Cantor Fitzgerald. Last week, they hosted a conference with 14 CEOs, and that was hosted by analyst Pablo Zuanic. And he is keeping his ratings and estimates on companies unchanged. He also says that it's favorable regulatory changes are possible at the regional and federal level. And he sees further industry consolidation which could result in better economics. We also have the prospect of US legalization. So Zuanic adds the momentum for multi-state operators in the US has largely ended due to Senator Chuck Schumer's bill overhang based on the timing of legislation and lack of regulatory clarity. So we were talking about this in our private group today with private members that it's been a while since we've seen anything on that. It could come any day, but again, it could be a couple of weeks, could be a couple of months, might be into 2022 before we have any further regulatory clarity. One thing I wanted to mention here, Canadian MJ names in afternoon trading, Tilray, they mentioned Aurora, Sundial, Kronos, and Hexo What do you notice that's a bit odd about this here, especially coming from such a reputable name such as Seeking Alpha? They didn't mention canopy growth, and I think that's the first time that I've ever seen an article of this, from such a company like such a high reputation as Seeking Alpha, where they didn't mention. And usually it's the first name they mention, and in this instance it was Tilray, followed by Aurora, and then they've also mentioned Hexo, which Hexo and Tilray are now leading canopy growth in terms of number 1 and number 2 in terms of recreational sales in Canada, which I know a lot of people didn't think that was going to happen, but it happened in pretty short order. And I know I was getting I was turning a lot of heads last summer when I started to turn bullish on Hexo, and now a lot of people are starting to wake up and see why. So one thing I want to mention again, so I mentioned this on my previous videos, but I highly encourage you to go fill this out. So the MJ Council of Canada helps shape the future of MJ. Essentially, this is just an initiative to raise awareness to your local MP. Ever hear of a 5-pack? Neither have we. So essentially, it's just going over how ludicrous it is that you can only buy 5 drinks, but you can buy 100 bottles of oil spray. So it just doesn't make any sense. So there's a form here at the bottom. I highly encourage you to go fill this out. Just as a heads up, the message is pre-written, so you can't modify that. It's just a template. You just fill in your name, email, and postal code, and away you go. You'll help shape the MJ industry. So moving on to the BAMM chart. So I've been saying on this channel for a while now that I've been accumulating. We had declining bear volume here on the monthly. We were in a monthly uptrend looking for a higher low compared to 27.5 cents. Generally, when names are in monthly uptrends, when you see US legalization prospects, there's so many catalysts that could be coming down the pipeline. Once all these companies uplist to US major exchanges, now's the time, in my opinion, again, not financial advice, this is for entertainment purposes only, but in my opinion, you want to be buying monthly consolidation in a monthly uptrend leading up to such an event, because just imagine what's going to happen when BAMM uplists to, say, the NYSE or the NASDAQ. It could even potentially be bought out by another company. You could see some more M&A. That's another catalyst. We have catalyst of US federal legalization and just recreational sales. So there's so many positive catalysts that are coming. And in my opinion, I do not want to miss it. And if I were anybody else in anybody else's shoes, I wouldn't want to miss it either, because if you thought the legislation change and legalization in Canada was a huge run up in MJ stocks, you will not believe what's in store once the US decides to legalize. And I don't think they're going to do it this year. I think by the end of 2021, we could find out the plan, but I do think that it will happen in 2022. But I am expecting to potentially find out by the end of this year when it's going to be. So like I said, I expect an announcement before the end of the year, and then the actual real deal to happen in 2022. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. That's just what I'm going off of and what I think. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with me. Do you not agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. So like I said, declining bear volume. We had the support trend line here that was holding. We still have yet to close a monthly candle below it. So we have 8 days left in this monthly candle. So we'll want to close above 39 cents, even 40 cents. We can close above 40 cents or so, but essentially don't want to see us lose the low of this current monthly candle at 37.5 cents. And I've been saying on this channel for a while now, I didn't expect us to lose 40 cents support. And if we did, it likely would be short-lived. And like I said, we have the all-time low at 22 cents. When we're in a monthly uptrend and we have all these positive catalysts coming, that's the time when you want to be buying. And I know a lot of people are not, they're thinking about selling, and they got the psychology all wrong. And I know once we get back up to around $1, people are going to be asking, when's a good time to buy BAMM? But the Bollinger Bands are getting extremely tight here at the moment. And on the daily time frame, we had that save by the bulls on Friday with huge volume on Friday. So we're going to see whether or not the volume precedes price. Generally it does. So let's see if we get a big move into tomorrow. We did top out at the EMA 26 today on the daily. So resistance at 45.5 cents is to break tomorrow. After that, we have 48.5 cents, 52 cents, and then a lack up until 65 cents. But on the monthly chart, if we can get back over these EMAs, close above the EMAs, we have no resistance on the monthly. So if we break above 63 cents, monthly bounce is going to be underway. And then we have a lack of resistance until $1.14, and then the all-time highs up at 371. So again, this is another name that I've been saying, don't go sleeping on BAMM. And it's one of those names that is extremely boring and doesn't do a whole lot, but when it does, it generally moves very quickly. In terms of the 10-week moving average, We have resistance at 47 cents. We haven't gotten above it since this consolidation period began. So since all the way back here in February, we've been rejecting and we've been unable to get over it. So a close above 47 cents this week would be extremely bullish and notable. Stochastic already had a bull cross and the MACD still working on it. A little bit more work to go. And then we have the 50 weekly moving average there at 51 cents and 50 cents psychological. And then after that, we have the 100 weekly moving average at 58 cents. In terms of the daily moving averages, we have the 50-day moving average at 49. So 50 cents is going to be extremely strong resistance. But if we blow through that, we've got the 200 at 54 cents. We also had a death cross here on the BAMM chart that already saw follow through. So questioning how much of that downside has been accounted for. Is it possible that we go lower from here? Absolutely. It can always go lower than we think. But personally, I think that we're nearing a bottom here. And after that death cross, it looks like there could be a lot more greener days ahead. Really liking what I'm seeing here. We have the weekly VWAP up at 62 cents and the 20 weekly moving average at 60 cents. So lots of resistance around 50 and 60 cents. And then, like I said, if we can get over 65 cents, on the daily time frame, we've got a couple of levels there, 74, 78, but then really nothing until 114. Going to be finding it hard to sleep tonight because I can't wait to see how this opens tomorrow. Again, let me know, what do you think it's going to open at tomorrow? Do you think this is extremely bullish? Do you think we're going to see the bids just pile up like you wouldn't believe? Are we going to see double-digit gains? I think we're going to have a good day tomorrow personally. Really looking forward to it. But moving on to the rest of the US MJ space. So BEV, FLGC, and TAUG led the decline today. On the bull list, we had BMMJ, NBEV, and GTII. Just taking a look at MSOS. So on the daily time frame, weekly time frame, we lost support, but we're still not seeing much follow through to the downside. We did break the low of Friday at 37.57, so we had 37.50, but we are daily oversold. So we're going to be watching for the high of the day today to break tomorrow at 37.97. If we break 37.97, daily bounce is underway. And check this out, we have a lack of resistance just from current levels all the way up. It's about 10% move on the daily time frame with a lack of resistance. And the EMA is up here around $40 as well. So I think MSOS is going to be due for a huge bounce here and likely wouldn't be surprised if we saw it happen tomorrow. So watch the high of the day today into tomorrow. On the bull and bear list, on the Canadian side, we had NSP, TGOD, PWR. On the bull list, we had RIV, VFF, and North. Love, shout out to Love as well. Another name we're extremely bullish on in our group. Up over 3% today, sitting at 17 cents. 52-week high at 18 cents. So we could be due for some fireworks there on Canara Biotech if we get over 18 cents. But another name that a lot of us in our group were extremely bullish on. Shout out to QC for introducing that one to me. I really, really dig it. So taking a look at Hexo here, on the weekly time frame, we still have the potential for a weekly inverse head and shoulders. If you've been tuning into this channel for a while now, you would have been told. If you haven't been, then tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future updates. Subscribe to the channel. But essentially been talking about it for a while now that we have a weekly inverse head and shoulders setup. We do have this weekly equilibrium as well. So we had the low, high, higher, low, double top. Now looking for a higher low, seeing a bear break, but not seeing much follow through. So we're still holding that low here, and the low is now 555. So we had 564 support, we lost it, and now our new low is 555. And what have I been saying? If we hold 550, that's going to keep the odds of a weekly inverse head and shoulders alive. So in my opinion, as long as bulls hold 550 USD, we are just fine on the NYSE ticker. And if we do confirm this bullish, if we break above resistance here at 755, we're going to confirm a weekly uptrend. And we will also be targeting about a $10 move here on Hexo if that does confirm. But again, if we lose 550, we're likely heading to 525. There's some support around there as well. And then 502. But like I said, it's looking good. Bulls are overall pleased, especially with the huge miss there on earnings that just came out. It's holding up really well in my opinion. So I'm going to be watching this one like a hawk. 550 is extremely important. And then, like I said, if we do head to 502, I can't see us, being at $5 for very long. If we do dip below it, watch 480. But like I said, I think it's going to be very short-lived. And I'm also hedging my positions as well with SPY, the S&P 500, in case we see a massive stock correction, 10-20% in the broader market. Check out my broader market video from earlier today for some detailed analysis on the broader market as well. But going to end it there and going to be watching that 550 level. And today was a nice close today on Hexo as well, closing at the high of the day. So we're going to be watching for 577 to break tomorrow. If we break 577 tomorrow, then the daily bounce is underway, and then we have a gap here in the chart as well at $6.49, and really a lack of resistance all the way up until 728. All right, again, let me know in the comments below, are you bullish or bearish on BAMM's earnings? What do you think we're going to open at tomorrow? Again, always love hearing from you. Appreciate the support. And thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth for an MJ Sector review. We'll see you tomorrow after market close. Best of luck into the trading day tomorrow.